Hello and welcome. I'm Mark, and if you're watching this video right now, there's a good chance you are faced with the task of writing a custom dietary supplement formula, and you've probably never written a custom dietary supplement formula. Now, when I started out, I went the long way around it, but I found a shortcut, and I'm going to explain this to you and show you right now with a spreadsheet I've created that should help you with the biggest problem we face, which is when faced with a new formulation, maybe a new niche, a new industry, is understanding which of the hundreds of thousand ingredients, which 20 or so we should actually be looking at. And so this is going to save you a whole lot of time, and you won't need to research every ingredient under the sun. This is what we're going to do. Let's do a quick screen share. But listen, I said I wasn't going to make another video unless I got a like and subscribe. And that's why there's been no video for 3 weeks. But I got a subscriber, so thank you. And I'm making a new video. It told me that this stuff is of value to you. So let's get into it. So hit that like button. Right. What we got is a spreadsheet here. You can knock this up yourself quite simply. And all we're going to do is take an example of a prototype formula, formula name Ultra Sharp. This is just an example where we might make a formula for the nootropics market, the focus ADHD market, and so on. Now, what we want to do first off is identify our top 7 to 10 competitors. For the sake of time, I've just listed 5 here, but the more test subjects you can gather, the better the results you're going to have. Now, how do we find out who our competitors are on day one? Well, I would say that you could run off the first page of Google. Really, if people have got a good formula and they're getting the reorders and the business is coming back in, then they're the ones that have got the thousands of dollars it might take to get to page 1 of Google. So there's obviously some success down the line in that business, and I think that would be a good place to start. But you could head over to Amazon and type in the formula you're looking to create. So in this case, focus formula, hit the top sellers, and Amazon will reveal the best-selling formulas of that month, and you could work off the top 7 there. Now, once we've identified our competitors, what we're going to do is start listing them on this spreadsheet. So what we got is our first one. Apologies if this is a real product. Apologies, Mr. or Mrs. CEO, but NeuroSharp, just an example name, and here we go, an example formula. So in NeuroSharp, what I've done is I've gone to their website, or if they're quite open with their information, hopefully they'll have the supplement facts label on Amazon.com in one of the pictures, or they have it easily accessible on the website. But if I can't find their supplement facts, because some people do hide it, then I can go over to Google Images, and if I just type in the product NeuroSharp supplement facts, you will nearly always find it. It won't be the website advertising, but you'll usually find a review site, a blogger, or someone has taken a picture, maybe even an Amazon review, and that's where you can find it. It's not that difficult, even if they are well hidden. So I found NeuroSharp's supplement facts, and I've listed them here. We got oat straw, we got 20 mcg of huperzine A, etc. Now, the problem is I don't have a clue what huperzine A is, right? It's okay. We'll come back to that in a moment. So let's go and list competitor 2. Now, Super Focus, what an original name. 8 milligrams. Okay, great. So they've got some ingredients in there that are in the first formula, but obviously they're probably going to have some ingredients that aren't in the first formula, and they have. So what we're going to do is just add them to our ingredient column. I've left this little spacer here just so you can mentally see, oh, okay, that's the second half of the formula 2 that's not in the first one. But really all we need to do is just fill up this left column with all the ingredients so we know where to start. Now, by the time we've done this, we should have something that looks like this. We've got all 5 competitors down there, and obviously we've listed their milligrams. We could have just put little ticks in the box, but this is going to save us time when we come to do the thing we got to do once we've chosen our ingredients, which is work out how many milligrams per serving we're going to put in each capsule or gummy or in the powdered scoop, whatever you want to do. So adding these up, look, you'll see here as well. We've got, obviously, each time we go along the line, we're going to carry over a few ingredients, but eventually this product here, number 5, has got ingredients from most of the other formulas. It's got a couple that aren't, though, in this example, bilberry and ashwagandha. That doesn't mean we should discredit these ingredients at all. They might know something that these don't. And a lot of times there's a lot of copying in the industry, and a lot of people just doing the same old, learn everything in year 1. And these formula writers have been repeating it for the last 30 years. So maybe Neurobrain has found something new in ashwagandha. So if I was if I had done this over 5, 7 competitors or whatever, and I found that I had just a short list of 30 ingredients, I think because I just want to build a better mousetrap, build the best formula, out of all of them, I think I'm going to research the whole lot. But let's say you're really, really struggling with focus and productivity, and we just want to get it down to those that are important, maybe the 10, the 15. Then all we've got to do is add up which of these ingredients are most commonly reoccurring in the formulas, and we should have ourselves something like this. Now, green, okay, B6, it's in 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5 top sellers. She's got to be green. She's got to be on my hit list. I need to go over and research. And something like B6, I'm thinking, come on, it's in every multivit. But often these multivits and stuff, they're very low dose. I've seen companies selling B6 at a dose of 50,000 times the recommended amount, 50,000 times the RDAs. So maybe one of these sort of household name ingredients could actually become a lot more effective than you think it would be. But by putting the dose up, of course, you've got to make sure that you check for maximum tolerances and make sure they're well tolerated and see what the maximum dose is, etc. And the websites I like to go and get this information from are examine.com and healthline.com. Now, if I'm switched on and wide awake, I'll go to examine.com. It's a little bit heavier going, but I love the way they've got the site. Now, it is a $20 paywall, but if you're going to write a formula, I think it's a great investment. And by paying that $20 or whatever it is, I'm not subscribed at the moment, but if you pay that, you can type in your ingredient, ashwagandha, and it's going to give you a big long table of everything that ingredient has ever been tested for in a clinical study. And the little table tells you whether there's strong evidence, medium, or no evidence for said claim. So you'll see libido, no evidence for, sleep and rest, strong evidence for, and so on and so forth. VO2 max, no evidence for. Anything that's been tested is going to show you. And if you pay, you get access to all the studies, and the studies are human studies. So you're not going to catch a cold by making a claim on the website, and then it turns out it was on a rat or a primate or something like that. So just human studies. They'll tell you the number of participants, and they'll tell you the doses they were put on during the trials. And it's just a summary. So that's a really helpful website. If you don't want to pay or you need an easier read, I go over to healthline.com, and Healthline just breaks down the ingredient and the 7 benefits. And they'll only mention 7 benefits if there are benefits that have been shown in clinical studies to be true. And they will also link the studies as well. And this is really great when writing our website copy. And as you're formulating, you should be making notes, even if you're copy and pasting over to a Word document, because when it comes to either write the website copy, the sales copy for our website, or if we're going to get a writer to do it for us, always great to say, hey, here's the notes on the ingredients and why they were chosen. And any claims we can lean on the website, providing we have a link to that study. And so Examine, Healthline, make a note of the study, copy and paste the URL of the clinical trial white paper that proves it, and then go and put your claim on your website in a little citation mark, little bracket with a 1 in, and at the bottom of the website, put a link to that study. That'll tick the box with Google as well, because we're starting to put outbound links, but no one's really going to leave your sales site because they want to go and read a white paper on ashwagandha. So those 2 websites should help you. Now, what we've got here, and I'm going to tell you to keep listening. I've got 2 very, very important things for you, what I call a lighthouse ingredient and a keyword ingredient that you should consider putting in. But just to finish this, what we've got here as well is the short-listed dosages. Now, if I really wanted to and just wanted to just go ultra competitive, and I'd hope you'd put a little bit more care and passion and really get into researching these ingredients, especially if we're only faced with 26 or so. But if you really wanted to just go out marketing style, you could just come in 9 milligrams. The maximum B6 in the top 5 is 8. So I'm going to come out 9, and we could start doing head-to-head comparison tables showing our formula versus the top 4, 5, 6 industry leaders. And we could literally put a milligram or 2 more on every dose and just beat them on value. All right. So a lighthouse ingredient, I tell you what, let's come on to that in a minute. Let's do the keyword ingredient first. Now, I wrote a formula for a company and I sent it to them, and they said, we like this very much. We don't have as much understanding as you, but we think this looks great. But Mark, we'd like you to put 1 milligram of ginkgo biloba in, please. This was a focus formula. And I said to them, look, ginkgo biloba, we're not going to put that in there. There's no real room for it. And there's no, from what I can see, no solid evidence that's going to do anything from memory. The only study I could find was when it was injected into a rat brain at 2 grams. We only got room for about 550 milligrams per capsule. So I said, it can't go in. They came back and they said, it's got to go in. It's going in. You've got to make room for it. Drop a milligram or something else. And I said, guys, we've got a really solid formula here. Why do we want to muddy it with something that even in the industry, some of the much smarter clients will see, ginkgo, why is that in there at 1 milligram? And they came back and said, look, don't worry about them. Worry about the mass general public. This is what we call a keyword ingredient. And we've done our research and we found that ginkgo biloba is the most searched ingredient on Google every month. There are more people looking for it in a supplement than any other. So if you don't believe it works, Mark, or you think that there's not enough room for the milligrams we need, just bring it at 1 milligram and let our marketing team find and reach those people with that formula. Ultimately, Mark, if you believe in that formula, ginkgo in at 1 milligram is going to get it into the hands of people that need it and more of them. And I sort of sat there and I thought, well, I do believe in the formula. And so I did agree. I didn't have a lot of choice, but I was sort of unsure about it. But with time, it's made sense. You know, you could have the best formula in the world, but if you can't tell anyone about it, no one's going to get the benefits. So consider a keyword ingredient, something that people know. I would say in the women's health space, the ashwagandha was a keyword ingredient, because if you type into Google, top 3 supplements for women to take, ashwagandha is on every single list on every single website. And so there are ladies out there that might be searching for ashwagandha, or they might have heard of it. And when they hit the website, that could be the tipping point for them. Oh, I'm not sure, you know, I don't know about these mood enhancers, these fat burners, or these whatever, hair, skin and nails, but oh, it's got ashwagandha in. Everyone tells me I've got to try it. And it could be that pushes someone over. So consider a keyword ingredient. Now, the Lighthouse ingredient. This is another thing I came up with, because in business, the number one rule is autonomy. Make sure you have control and ownership of everything you build. In the supplement world, I would say the second most important word would be retention. Getting that client to buy again. Otherwise, it's exhausting. It's all ads, one and done. There you go. Wow, we got you to convert. You're coming back. You're not. Oh, no. What I want to do is just sell a few people once and then just relax on the beach while they keep buying every month, year after year. And to do that, we've got to get people a result. And sometimes we have what I call leap of faith products, where someone isn't necessarily going to feel anything. Think about your multivitamin, for example. You don't feel dreadful if you forget to take it one morning, and you don't feel amazing if you do. You just take it because we're told that's what we need. And I'm sure if we didn't take it and we had a really bad diet, we would feel pretty beat up and rubbish. But let's say if we got a memory formula, that's a big old leap of faith, isn't it? Imagine me going down the bar tonight and saying to the guys, yeah, I'm on this new memory formula. I mean, what are they going to say to me? They're going to laugh at me like I'm a fool. What, you want to pay someone $50 every single month for the next 40 years on the promise that you won't get, you know, a neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's? Yeah, guys. Yeah. You know, it's a bit of a big ask. So how do we get someone to give us $50 a month for a memory formula? Well, first, we've got to get a good formula together and make sure we've researched it. But second, what we need to do is give them an indicator that it's working right now, or just make them feel good. And that could be with what I call a lighthouse or a beacon ingredient, an ingredient that has someone within 15 to 30 minutes go, ooh, I'm feeling this. And so that would normally be a stimulant. Now, obviously, we don't want to be putting caffeine in every formula we do, because caffeine's got a negative connotation, certainly when it's in a formula, because it tends to feel like that's where all your money's going, or at least that's what's doing it. Excuse me. I'm not a big fan of that. But we have other options. And you know, something like Panax ginseng, something that might increase energy. It could even be the B6 we were talking about, a large enough dose. But if you get someone feeling something, then that will have them give that product more time. And that's what we need. What needs to happen is I go down to the bar, my friends used to say, are you still paying that person $50 every month for the memory formula on the hope that you won't get any problems with your memory in 40 years? And what I need to do is be able to turn around and say, listen, guys, you might laugh, but I'll be honest with you. Ever since I started taking that memory formula, and I don't know what it is, but I have felt amazing. You know, I'm having great days at work. I'm more focused. I'm more happy. Me and the wife are back rolling around in the bedroom more than we were. I've got energy for the kids and all that great stuff. And if we can get someone feeling that, then that's fantastic. And I even stuck a little libido booster into a focus formula for a few years. And I used to get emails from people saying, I'm noticing benefits to my focus, but I'm loving what it's doing for me in the bedroom as well. And that sort of unwanted or unknown positive side effect can sometimes be the reason people keep coming back and relying on your formula rather than someone else's. So I think that's everything. Now, what we got here, highest dose, we've got our greens. The greens are the ones that are most commonly recurring. So we're going to go over and start researching these. The yellows are considerations, but we've already agreed that with just 26 ingredients or whatever's there, there's a chance a couple of these that have been neglected or just aren't known about might hold the secret. And what I recommend you do is you try and find a story in one of those ingredients and you build the website around it. There was a little story of a millionaire maker, and I'll finish after this. There's a little story of a millionaire maker, and he would bring his team into struggling businesses. And there was this skin cream company, and I read about this in his book. And they came in, and the website was just beautiful skin and, you know, vitality and radiance and all that stuff. No real science and definitely no story. And in came the researchers, and their job was to find a story and overhaul the website and get this thing selling. And one of the team put their hand up and said, I've got it, boss, I've got it. This ingredient in this skin cream, this one ingredient, I found out was used by Cleopatra in her milk baths. And so that was it. The other ingredients in the formula were almost forgotten about. And the whole website was built around the power of this one ingredient. And within the next 12 months, they hit over $1 million because everyone believed that it was this one ingredient they were missing in their beauty regimes. So sometimes all it takes is one ingredient. If you're looking and you can find a story in one, or maybe you've used just one of these ingredients yourself and it's helped you, building the site around that and making that ingredient the backbone of the formula will always do you well. And also people wanting that same ingredient, believing that it's the one, will have to come back to you to get it again. Now, have fun writing this formula. Know that it's not the end of the world. If you go to a GMP, a certified good manufacturing practice laboratory, that's a manufacturer who's got their facility FDA approved. We can't get FDA approval on a dietary supplement, only a drug you've written the molecular structure for. So there's no FDA approval on a dietary supplement. But to prove to our clients that it's not us in hairnets sipping a few beers in the garage this weekend, my wife's mixing bowls creating this stuff, we can go to a GMP lab, and a GMP lab will backstop this for you, this formula, and let you know if you've made any mistakes. The milligrams are too high, or I've even had laboratories come in on a child's drink formula I was writing and say, hey, Mark, I think that ingredient is going to make the water really murky, and that one's going to be quite bitter. And they came back with two alternatives. So these, a proper GMP registered facility will help you with that formula. But rather than let someone else do the work, why don't you take on the challenge? Have a go. There's nothing more rewarding. You know, my 5'8" ass walks around 7 foot tall because I've written a few dietary supplement formulas. I didn't even finish school, never mind have a PhD or a laboratory. But that's the beauty of this industry. And more importantly, my formulas have helped people with their lives, and that feels great. Getting paid to help people and receiving thank you emails from them for doing so. There's not too many industries where the transaction is that, you know, a win-win on both sides. So every reason to do it. Get busy and have fun. I hope this helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If I see some subscribes, it's going to be more value, and I don't want nothing for it. Just a thumbs up to let me know you enjoyed it. All the best.